What's going on?
You talked about not shying away from the moments, and this started, I don't know, week 15 and on.
Yeah.
So just putting that back at you again about, the opportunity that's there for the team.
Yeah, it's a fun opportunity. I don't know. It's exciting times in Seattle right now. Your neighbors, people you see kind of on the street rocking their gear. It's pretty special, and we've earned this moment. The city's earned this moment, and so we're excited to take advantage.
On the field, what does that look like in terms of walkthrough, in terms of each rep, in terms of each practice?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not just like kind of coach speak, but today felt like a normal Thursday walkthrough. Everybody's going through the process, doing their practice prep. It just feels like kind of another week. I would imagine that's the goal of Mike from the beginning, is to kind of establish a routine and a process that's similar week in, week out, no matter kind of what the game is. And so you know what to expect. We know we're going to have a Thursday practice, know how the flow goes Friday, Saturday. And so the process is the process. Then Sunday, it'll be definitely exciting in the stadium.
What's the biggest challenge of Kukua in defending him?
Yeah, has speed and he's strong. He's a strong receiver. He's good after the catch. And he's efficient in his route running, and so you just need to know where he's at all the time.
You guys held Matt Stafford to 130 yards the first time you played this year,
Yeah.
and he threw for a lot more the second time. You've faced John McVay a bunch of times at this point. How much do you look at previous games as predictors of future, and how do you kind of get ready for the next match against those guys?
Yeah, it's a dance, between the guy calling their plays, McVay, as well as Mike kind of calling our stuff. It's a dance of what we were showing, what we're presenting, how we're going to execute. I think the story of the second game was really just not executing. Defensively, we had a good plan in, but we just didn't execute to our fullest. And so, that we know that. I think we got the win, but we go into that Monday after that game, knowing that it's great we got the win, but on defense that room was quiet for sure. Knowing that, all right, we have some work to do. And I think we showed, improvement the weeks after that game, because all right, that was a loud playoff-like environment for that game, and now we know what to expect.
What are the stress points that their three tight end packages kind of put on a defense from your eyes?
Knowing who they are, 84, 87, 18, 89, all of them operate differently. They, especially in their offense, they are catered, and used a certain way. Just knowing who they are and where they're lined up, and then when you're on them, making sure you keep eyes on them, don't allow any league kind of cheap stuff, and just play ball. I think it's just knowing it's not typical anymore in the league. I think that's the biggest thing. Everybody's going to the zebra. The game got fast, and they're kind of bringing it back and bringing out bigger bodies, and so we've got to match it accordingly.
I think you overlapped with Colby Parkinson here
Yeah.
for 1 year. Can you talk about just the player he's developed into down there?
Yeah, he's become a go-to guy for them. He's very tall, he's strong, he's smart, he's good in the run game. He has all the tools to be a successful tight end. And I enjoyed playing with him here. And it's real easy to see how he's having success over there. They're getting him more involved into some of the vertical pass game than his first year there. And so, yeah, he's become a serious, tight end one for them.
Stafford's know the passes. How do you guard against? What's the point there? Is it just eye discipline?
I mean, it's tough to say eye discipline, because you're looking at him. And so, if you're going off a quarterback, he's going to lead you in a different direction. I think it's more so about spots, understanding spots in the field that they're trying to target, and just being disciplined enough to know, okay, he's trying to get me off my spot right now. Yeah, I think that's it.
Mike talked yesterday about the loss down there in Week 11 and kind of the feeling of the team coming out of that game. And I think the phrase he used, we could feel ourselves becoming the team we wanted to be, despite losing, obviously. What do you remember about just sort of the feelings with the team coming off of that?
Yeah, I think before that game, the standards of the defense were already high. And as the game was going on, I think they got some stuff rolling early. Defense it was definitely tense over towards our part of the field. And we were playing well. In hindsight, if you took a step back, you realize we were playing well, but it didn't feel like that in the moment. And so guys kind of bowed up and kept battling. And then after the game, you realized kind of what the numbers showed. And, yeah, I think it was defining just to be like, all right, if we execute this and this and this, that game, obviously, we lost a turnover battle, but it came down to a kick at the end. So if we're efficient, if we could take care of the ball, we could get the ball, then what shape will we be in? And so yeah, I think that's the biggest key of that one.
And then coming out of the game, it became kind of a well-publicized thing what Ernest said after the game, supporting Sam.
Oh yeah.
What does that kind of do for a team when one side of the ball is maybe having a bad day and immediately the other side of the ball steps up? And
Yeah, I mean, from the jump, I don't know what it was. I mean, maybe something in camp, just kind of being around Sam's like, dude, you're our quarterback. You're going to lead us. But we, like you said, we have your back no matter what. I know you have our back in our down moments. Second LA game, Sam was like, defense, you guys are good. Like, and they made it happen late in that game. And so we have a very complete team, which is probably the first time I've ever had such a complete team in my career. You know, offense, we trust them and believe in them fully. It's not just talk. It's a full belief. And I know they believe in us fully. And then special teams, that's our X factor. That's our special weapon, because people are going in each day and challenging themselves to do the job, and not just kind of talk about it, not float through the process, but to really enjoy and get after the process.
When you have a game like the last one that wasn't up to your standards on the defensive side, as a competitor and as the defense you guys have, do you look forward to a chance to face that team again?
100%. I was telling some guys when we came in Monday, like, that was the best case scenario. We did it. We played like shit that second game, but we won. Like, we got the win in a critical part of the season, and now there's improvements to be made. Like, that's the best when you can win a game and still have stuff to improve on. I've been a part of some units that you feel like you were perfect and you still lose by a few touchdowns, and so that's a unit we have. Especially on defense, everybody takes pride on their side of the ball, but we take pride on if we get our job right and do what we're supposed to do, and we have confidence in that, then things should be good.
You said that was this Monday or the Monday after that?
Oh, that was Monday after the Rams game. Yeah. We've been playing lights out.
You were on opposite sides of DeMarcus for a few years when
Yeah.
you were with the Cowboys and you were with the Giants. I'm wondering, as a teammate this year, what has stood out about him that you didn't know previously until you were in the same locker room?
I mean, he's just a good dude. Straight up and down. Obviously, he's a killer on the field, and you can see that in his eyes. Like, he has intent to, to get after the ball, to make plays. But just off the field, like, we were just messing around, playing some cards, like in our break. Like, we just kind of hang out with him, and he's just a kind of a fun-loving guy, great father to his kids, family man, and so it's cool to see the off the field stuff with him, because on the field he's transformed this defense.
I don't know if you saw, John Schneider won the Executive of the Year award today.
Oh.
I just, as a player, kind of people talk about the culture he sets and things like that from the top down. How do you kind of see that as a player?
That's pretty cool. I mean, he's just, you guys have all talked to him, I'm sure. He shoots you straight. He's not super serious. He's not, he's just a guy you can enjoy talking to and you could be real with, which I think is appreciated. And in terms of, like, the people he's getting in here, he believes in talent development from the inside. I mean, this past draft class, we take a bunch of guys who just have a ton of upside. It might take some work to, coach people up and just do the right things, of course, but he sees the value in that. He doesn't let any of the stuff that distracts other people in terms of like a personality type get in the way. And that's special. That's hard to do. You can't have any really bias about you. And so, yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that. That was well-deserved.
You mentioned special teams is an X factor for you guys.
Yeah.
You've been at points of your career a kind of a special teams guy. What do you think? I mean, every coach says, hey, let's be good in all three phases. Let's emphasize special teams. But not every team does it necessarily.
Yeah.
What do you think has allowed you guys to have so much success there?
I think it's the people in the room. I think it starts with Brady Russell, our special teams captain. And obviously we have a great kind of set of specialists with J-Mai, Dicko, and Stoll. It's the standard that's like, it's very serious. Like, what we do is not, I've been in some rooms where it's like, don't worry about it. We're going to kick it through the end zone. We're going to, no, we kick the ball in play. We cover kicks. And we expect to create explosive in the return game. It started with Jay Harbaugh, just setting the tone. Like, this is serious because nobody wants to do it anymore. Kickoff rules are changing. All these things are constantly changing about special teams. If we can get it right first, we could be really special. And he said that from day one, which, so credit to all of our team's leaders as well as Jay.
The second Rams game, for all they did in the fourth quarter, the comeback was after you guys stopped them 3 3 and outs in a row.
Yeah.
What changed there in that portion of the game?
I don't know exactly what changed there. We figured some things out and started calling some things differently. So, don't need to get into that. But I think I remember that week after that game, Mike, we were talking, we were in his office, and he said something along the lines of, what's special about our team is that we're just going to get it right. Like, we're going to figure it out. It might not be the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, whenever that happened in that game. But we have the guys that know that we are going to get it right. And that's powerful. I mean, that's special. Again, you're a part of a unit organization. You guys in the workplace, maybe you're like, things just aren't going your way. They might not go your way until it's over. But for us, we know, all right, the tides are going to turn no matter what. And we trust in Mike. We trust in our coaches under Mike. And we trust in our players to make things right. We're not just going to let things continue to happen. So wish we would figure it out earlier in that game, but I think we figured it out. And, we're confident for Sunday.
You referred to Brady Russell as your special teams captain. Is that just like an unofficial thing that's kind of understood since you guys do the game captains?
Yeah, I think it's unofficial. That's understood. He's a core guy. I mean, we have a lot of leaders in the room, but I think from the first point, every time Brady speaks, people listen. He's one of those guys. He has incredible intent with how he goes about his work. He gives 100% in every single thing he does. His practice, his pregame, running around without a shirt on, all the stuff. It's all through work. I think if he was in another building, people might not have valued that as much. But like Jay, as well as Mike and everybody, has allowed him to be himself. And he's just he leads the charge, and he gets everybody right for sure.
I don't know if you watched the video of Mike's first press meeting with you guys last year. I guess, what do you remember about him talking to you guys like that back in April?
That was special. I think everyone who's in that in the room kind of pictured it. They had the slide, everything that he said in that video, like it was very much real. That was his first meeting. It was maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes into him introducing himself to us. And he just stated the power of being in Seattle in front of this fan base. I mean, you see the size of the team room; it's looming. Like it's our power, and so we're catering to that. We love the opportunity. And it's gonna be fun. It was fun this past weekend. It's gonna be fun again because I don't know, Seattle just means more to this community for sure.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right, y'all.